Somewhere else from Black Women TV. Here we are, final season. How long ago did you guys know it would be the final season?
Before we start,
Mhm.
Was it the end of season 2 and they say one more, or is it middle of it?
no,
No.
it was in between. After season 2 was already out doing the thing, and then when we knew that we were coming back, but we knew we were coming back, it was going to be the last season.
Mhm. Now, did Tracy talk to you guys as far as how you wanted your characters to go out?
Before I knew it was the last season, I had a conversation about the next season, not knowing that it would be the last season. I don't even think they knew at the time that it would be the last season. And there was a lot of things that we discussed, and some of the things that we discussed, I actually see play out in other characters' storylines, which I can't say now because I don't know how much we're telling.
What about you, Meagan?
Well, we definitely were like, so who's pregnant? So who's pregnant? So who's pregnant? There was a lot of that conversation. And I
Well,
think,
we knew it wasn't Todd.
right, or was it Angie? Or was it Quinn? You know what I'm saying? But the wonderful thing, I think that, I don't know if we were necessarily asked how we wanted it to wrap up. I think it was more like an unspoken understanding that we've all been on this journey with these characters, and that includes Tracy, and that includes the writer's room, and that includes, everybody in between. And so I also think we were all really happy when we saw, like, okay, here's what it's going to be. And yeah, I think it's kind of one of the best endings. I feel like people really get what they want and what they came for, and a good thing can't last forever. I think it's always good to end on a high note. So I feel like people will feel like, yeah, I got what I came for. I don't feel cheated. I feel like, you know.
Mhm. Jerry, what's your takeaway from what you did with your character that people can walk away with?
That it's okay to open your heart, and that family, that lineage, the connection to your past and your family, it doesn't go away. And so you can run from it, but you can't hide. And so always stay connected to your roots and your family, and always be asking questions about how your past affects your future, because it does. And if you want to find love, you have to be the person who can be in a place to receive the love you're asking for.
Mhm. Well, you, Meagan, you've played a lot of roles over the years. We've seen you, but I think with this particular character, people know they see the character and they see you. So when you walk away, and it's a good thing that you're walking out of a high note as opposed to being canceled, and you don't know how it's going to play out. You know, what did you want fans to get? What you did with this character? They're like, okay, she did right. We like where this character is going.
I think the biggest thing for me was I didn't see this particular
Did you hear
person,
me? Oh.
really any one of these characters represented in a friend group on a show. I also love that they're not caricatures. I also love that they're not like they don't fit into anything in particular because they're so rich and complex. And so for me, I just wanted for people to be able to see themselves. I just wanted for her to be authentic in both her strength and her weirdness and her awkwardness and moments, when she crashes out a bit or whatever it may be. And I wanted people to feel not alone in seeing that, and realize that we're all walking this thing out of life, and none of us are doing it perfectly, and we're not always doing it gracefully, but we're walking it out, and we're all human beings. And so for me, I just really wanted to pull people in with that. And then I also wanted to say, in the same breath of understanding that we're all walking this out, we have to intentionally grow, and we have to intentionally ask ourselves hard questions. We have to intentionally ask and revisit things, and wonder why is this that way, or why do I respond this way, or what. And so hopefully it's a tool for complete self-love, and knowing that we are all connected and we're all walking it out.
For you, Jerry, this is the most we've seen you in. What's your takeaway, skill set wise, as an actress throughout these seasons that you can take on to whatever project you do next?
One thing I learned is that I knew more than I thought I knew, and that the gift is just there. But two, I learned how to work with because this is such a communal set, how to work in a set community. I learned how to be in conversation with the cameraman, how to be in conversation with the directors and the DP, how to advocate for myself. I also learned that a lot of the work is not really what happens on camera, but what happens off camera. And so, how do you invest in that work as well? And then, what people's expectations of you are when you are leading a show or a film or something, and you come on set, people are looking to you to create the culture. And so, how do you come in with something that you can maintain throughout the time that you're filming?
Short is never good, but we appreciate for what you brought on. Obviously, people will be binging. Obviously, look for the comments, on social media. It's like, what's going on? Obviously, I was hooked from the beginning. I'm sure I'll see you down the road in other projects. Take care.
Thank you, Wilson.
Thank you, Wilson.
Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. I talked to the other ones and I was asking them, like, how long did you guys know before they told you this was going to be the final season? Was it the end of season 2 or was it the filming of season 3?
Yeah, it was at the top. It was before we came back in totality, like right before. They were like, yeah, so it's looking like the final. We're like, oh yeah. And the good news is that to be able to be given that information before we start shooting is so useful, because now we're able to put a sense of finality in totality, wrap it up in a way that feels like everybody gets closure. At least that's what we hope, that people can feel a sense of closure.
I know Tracy's a great writer, but did you guys talk to as far as how you think you wanted your characters to go out? Shoniqua?
Not necessarily how we wanted to go out, but there was always conversation about what we expected in season 3. And that's what I love so much about this writing team, the EPs, the showrunner, the co-creator, is that they ask us questions. And I thought it was important that Angie finally get to discover her voice again. We had seen her struggle with it in season 1. I was like, well, we have to hear her sing in a major way. We haven't seen her on a stage in a solo performance since the first episode. And so I'm so glad we get to see her step into that part of her stardom in the final season.
I feel that in 3 seasons we've seen Quinn a little bit all over the place, but she kind of knows she's all over the place. Do you think at the end she knows she's in the right place?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that that's super important. And I think that anyone or anything that comes after that is just going to fall within the scope of that, right? It's like, I don't think that, I don't think that Quinn is going to be questioning who she is moving forward. Yeah, and I'm trying not to give anything away. So, but I think that she has really arrived in a space that this feels right for Quinn.
Mm-hmm. And for Angie, life is going great. She's got a show, she's got an upcoming marriage, but sometimes both of them can't happen at the same time. What do you think? As you was reading the script, preparing for season 3, did you go to the end knowing where it's going to play out, or did you envision how you wanted Angie to come out on top?
Again, this is such an unusual experience we have as actors, in that the writers share with us. I knew from season 1 what was going to happen for Angie in this season. They were telling me about exactly who she was going to end up with, or how this relationship would play out. And so I'm really, again, grateful to that, because it allows you as an actor to create those moments of falling deeper or changing things or sprinkling moments that affect the relationship later on, that you don't always get to experience as an actor when you're playing it day by day. Sometimes there's like moments where, I would have played that differently if I had known. So I just want to give a huge kudos and expression of gratitude to the phenomenal Harlem team that allows us to enter in and gives us a heads up so that we can create even deeper choices.
One thing that's great about the show and is that, with these women, there was always friendship, not like some other shows where it's like, okay, who's against opposite? You end up at the end of the day, you may not like everybody's idea, but you can respect it. So like when people leave watching this show, they're gonna have a good sense of feelings, and they can take that to their own friendships that they have with their own friends. Do you think I'm saying anything different than what you probably already know, Grace?
No, that's my hope, and I think that's all of our hope, right? That this can be not just a reflection of what life can be, but a reflection of what life is in a lot of circumstances, and to give people the okay to feel free to make those. I don't want to say like those same choices, but to embrace what the world can have, right? It's like sometimes we don't even think about what can be possible to us in our friendships or otherwise until we see it. And then we're like, oh yes, that totally resonates. I never thought about that. I've never tried that. And so it's kind of, giving another point of view in a way that feels like it embraces humanity.
Mm-hmm. I just want to say congrats on your performances. Congrats on the series. Before I let you go, I'm going to put a little petition out there to get Girls Trip the Musical to become a reality.
Yeah. Thank you.
I love the music. I said, let's get you on board, so that way we can see you again, but off stage, off screen, something, hey, we can root for. I'm sure I'll see you down the road in other projects. Take care.
Thank you, Wilson. Good to see you again.
Wilson Morales from Black Women TV talking to Tyler. Obviously, are we rooting for Ian this season, with everything that's going on in his life?
Oh, for sure. We're always rooting for Ian. Yeah. Anytime someone can honor what they're feeling and what they're thinking at the same time and try to be direct about it, I'm always rooting for that, for sure. Definitely ends up in a little bit of a situation though. So I hear you.
There's this point in the series early on where we think he's doing the right thing. When something is over, it's over. But then he puts himself in a situation that things happen without revealing at all. That he does the right thing sometimes, and that's a credit to the writers. So when you were told that the series was going to end, even though that you have great writers out there, did you have an idea as to how you wanted how you wanted Ian to go out?
Yeah, I thought Tracy Oliver and the writing team just did a phenomenal job, just writing a solid ending to go along with to where we started off at. The first season was up here, second season was up here. I feel like the ending is in the same space, So I was happy to see at the end of the day Ian end up with his one true love. It didn't. He ended up in this perfect scenario, but it just wasn't the way that he had planned for. So to see him chase that all the way to landing at the end, having the love of his life, having the opportunity to be the father he's always wanted to be, has always talked about. It was just a beautiful thing to watch them end the right way. I loved it as a viewer.
Love is messy. It's tricky. It's patience. What do you want men to get out of this when they're seeing, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that's been in this situation where past loves connect with current loves, and he has to decide which one's best for him.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say is, like, I don't know if anyone is in that situation that you'll end up as lucky as Ian did. A lot of times when you're opening up new chapters before you close old ones, you can end up losing both chapters. You just make a mess of the situation. So I would say, it behooves us to be clear with our boundaries and, to articulate directly what it is that we're willing to do, not willing to do. And so I do appreciate all that, but I would say that, being clear about what it is that you want and not leaving people in a space where they have to come up with a question mark or, answer it for themselves is, more ideal than not, for sure.
From the episodes you've done, and you also are on P Valley, but with this particular show, is there anything you got from doing this show that helps you out skill set wise as an actor moving forward to whatever project you may do next?
Yeah, I feel like they all help me out as skill set wise as an actor. The only way you get good at shooting a jump shot is if you practice shooting the ball at the net. And the net can be anywhere. It could be in Madison Square Garden. It could be in your backyard. So I feel like any real artist is going to be able to sharpen their tools, whether they're at the height of a production like something as serious as Harlem, or you're giving yourself a monologue in the mirror. But one thing that I can say is that this definitely elevated me as an artist. Harlem as a whole elevated me as an artist just because of the just the dynamic of the writing, the complexity of the characters, and just the strength of the cast as actors. This experience as a whole has definitely improved my skill set as an actor. Bar none for sure.
Ty, I want to say congrats on your performance. Congrats on a series. I'm sure we'll see you again sometime in 2025 with P Valley. Let's make that happen. If not that, other projects, we'll talk down the road.
Yes,
Take
sir.
care.
It's on the way. I appreciate you, man.
All right. Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. At what point did you decide this was going to be the third and final season?
Well, I didn't decide it. I was in the middle of the season 3 writer's room, and I had already mapped out the season. We'd written scripts and everything, and then I get a call that basically is like, well, not so great news. This is 90% chance this is the final season. So just wanted to kind of give you a heads up as you're working on the show. And I was like, ooh, if that is the final season, I got to redo everything. So I basically scrapped all of the scripts and the direction that I was going in, and then rerouted it completely with less time. I only had like 5 weeks to completely start the whole season over and do it basically. But I just knew, I was like, if this is the last time I get to do this, I can't really have huge cliffhangers. I have to kind of really pay off a lot of the arcs that I started in season 1, and really do something that as a viewer I would find to be a satisfying end to the journey of the show that we've been on.
Uh-huh. Now, was it always going to be 6 episodes as opposed to the normal 8 you've previously had?
Nope. So part of that call was also, and instead of 8, you have 6. So I had a very tall order in front of me. I was like, ooh, I have 4 different characters, and I also didn't want to shortchange anybody. I wanted all 4 of them to get some kind of arc, and that was really hard to do in 6 episodes. And yeah, initially those 6 episodes were so long, and then I had to just keep cutting pages, and even in post I had to cut a lot out. That I had so much that I wanted to do, but 6 episodes is just not a lot of time. But I'm still proud of what we were able to accomplish, but absolutely not, that was not my dream.
But it's a credit to your writing that you're able not only to flush out the arcs of the main 4, including Tyler, but also including in the newcomers in this season, and not just have them come in as props, but have something meaningful to add in to their own storylines.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm glad you got that out of it.
Now, because you want to make sure that somebody's just not there to just be there, that they add to the storyline so that we, the fans, know what you did on this show,
Yeah.
and that some of these characters are memorable and they're either going to be rooted for or not, So like, whereas we see Kofi, it's like, I like you, or Ty's character, and be like, you was in a pickle, but you got out of it.
Yeah,
You know?
no, I really did try with the new characters, and tried to make them, like you said, fully realized people and not just, one dimensional. So I'm really glad that you said that.
Now, at the end of the day, was there any character you really wanted to explore more, but you were able to make it, and you pat yourself on the back, says, okay, I got this done? Considering you had written a storyline earlier, but then you had to change it once you knew that this was going to be the finale.
Yeah. I had a completely different character pregnant in my other version. I wanted to see Quinn pregnant, and I wanted to explore her life as a mom, because she, to me, was the one who always knew that she wanted kids, and she's the most nurturing and maternal of the 4. And I was like, well, she would be certain. She would know that she wants kids. And I just wanted to see what that looked like. But as a single mom. And I didn't get a chance to do that. I still kind of teased a little bit of that in season 3, but I didn't get a chance to fully explore Quinn and motherhood in the way that I wanted to.
So I know we don't have much time left, but what's going to come first? Girls Trip 2 or Girls Trip the Musical?
Ooh. Um, I would say the movie should come first, but honestly, the way that the musical came about was so fast that I was like, do I need to just pivot into musicals? Because they're fast when they write music. I sent them just concepts of drugs in my booty and the friendship finale song, and they turned that both songs around in a week. And of course, we went back and forth and did notes and had to record it and all that type of stuff. That took time, but like making musicals is fun. So I don't know. I think the movie should come out first, but I fell in love with the process of making musicals while doing this.
What's your takeaway? You've had a success with films. You've had a success with this show. What's your takeaway from this to whatever project you may do next?
I hate to say this, but I'm just going to be completely honest. I might pivot away from writing Black women characters.
Hey, you show range if you do. There's no fault in that.
Yeah, and because I get sent stuff now because of Girl Trip and because of this and First Wives Club, I get sent a lot of like friendship stuff, and Black women stuff and comedic stuff, and I love these projects. I got a lot out of them. I grew a lot, but I think that there's more that I can do and more that I want to do and explore. So, I wouldn't be surprised if the next thing I talk to you about, you say, wow, I didn't expect that from you. So I'm trying to find things that are just, in my wheelhouse, but still in a different genre or just kind of defying expectations of what you've seen me do before. So, yeah.
Okay. Listen, congrats. I'm still hoping for a blackening too.
Thank you.
But you got a lot of projects. So either way, we look forward to what you do next. For the meantime, we'll be enjoying watching these episodes right here. Cherish them. We'll talk about them down the road. I know I'll see you down the road. Take care.
Thanks, Wilson. I appreciate it.
Bye. Wilson Morales from Black Women TV. Everybody's working and working hard. How is everyone?
Hey, Wilson. I'm good. I'm happy.
Coming into the season, were you told it was going to be the last season, or you guys were just happy to be on the show?
Coming into it, no, I found out during, but there was no official words. I was hoping and praying, and it wasn't.
I know. Yeah, that was a total shock and surprise, but what an honor to be a part of the last of anything, but especially this show,
Yeah.
When you join a show that already has 2 seasons already, how did this cast make you feel comfortable? Gail?
They were themselves. They didn't act any different around me than they do the rest of the cast and the crew or how you see them on screen. They were just genuine and open arms. And I spoke about this earlier. We had a moment where, because mainly all my scenes are with Jerrie or Miss Robin, and we were all there and like Logan, and I had to see Logan. She was leaving, but it still was so beautiful. But we were all in a like glam room where we never are. We're typically in a trailer. So it was Grace's time. I got to experience witnessing her baby walk for the first time. Everybody dancing, crew came in. It was just a very beautiful moment.
Are we supposed to root in the character or not?
For my character?
Yes.
Rooting, I mean, you haven't seen enough mess between Ian and Camille? You're rooting for that? Okay, I'm just kidding. No, I think you can totally root for Portia and Ian, and for Ian, starting a new love and giving it his all and being sincere about it. Yeah, it depends on what team you're on.
moving forward, what did you got skill set wise as actresses doing this series that you can use to whatever project you may do next?
I played a softer side that you haven't seen before. I feel I can really use that in the series, leaning more into the vulnerability of the character. I played a same-sex character that I've never played before. I could do that, lend that to a character. And this is comedy.
Logan?
I haven't done comedy in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, same. I think I love comedy, and I've been blessed to be able to do comedy, but watching other people do their comedy is a gift. And so watching, especially comedians, like I love women comedians. Like a lot of our favorite women rappers are comedians. And so watching Meagan was just a treat for me. So I'll take a lot of how I watched her improvise and find the funny. Like she never stopped finding the funny, and that was a gift.
Gail, you mentioned same sex. Obviously people are going to look into this. What did you get into the mindset to play this character? Have you done it before? Is this new for you?
This was new for me. This is new for me. But I didn't really look at it as a different mindset. I approached it with love is love. I just wanted to make sure I did it justice, and I also honored and treated it the same way I would approach intimate scenes with a man, making sure there was still consent. Because just because Jerrie is a female and just because Jerrie is of same sex, is that what I wanted to make sure that she still had I still had the full consent, and we still discussed it and approached it in an appropriate way. That it wasn't like, I just assume because she's a girl, she's okay with me kissing her. I just assume because she's gay, she's okay with me grabbing her butt or doing this. So I just honestly approached it with care. But when it comes to the love part and that mindset of the character, I mean, that was love is love for me.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, obviously, we know you're moving forward. Gail, you got a movie that's out by the time this airs. Logan, where do we see you next in?
I just finished a show called Criminal. It's a new show for Amazon Prime. It's based on a graphic novel, and it stars Charlie Hunnam, Audrey Arjona, Emilia Clarke, and Luke Evans. And I play an internal affairs detective, which is a new role for me, for sure.
So just to mention, Gail's movie's Both Eyes Open. And when does P-Valley come back?
Now, see, 2025. It will be back in 2025, but I cannot give you a date yet. As soon as I can, I will. You'll be the first.
Okay. It's good to see you guys on this show. I'm sure I'll see you down the road. We'll talk again. Take care of yourselves. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Wilson.